Get yourself a cup of tea. We've got a Space Marine mirror. I know, guys. I'm not going to have a lot of carnage here. Shouldn't, one would expect, have a lot of models lost here. But it's a high level game. I got to cast it and see how it goes. How do Space Marine mirrors go? Well, you've got knockback spam from your shotguns and your ASM. That's one way to do it. Or you go snipers and you go fully into the scouts. You don't even bother with ASM, usually. We'll see what the players opt for here. It'd be nice if they had altering playstyles, but maybe not. Hearing the simultaneous scout lines is a little bit ridiculous. It's been a while since I've heard that. An interesting play here from Piano. Rushes the contested power nodes. His hero and his initial scout. I'm surprised he isn't. Yeah, he's not noding that. Did he have the resources? He did. If he wanted to, he could have. He could have noded it. That would have bought him some time. Though it's unclear what really that would have achieved, because trying to sneak the scouts down here, it would be easily spotted. It's a bit tricky. So FC just going to be chilling. A little bit strange. Deimos just decided to cap this point and give away the free kill there on the scout model. So Apothecary just pushed back the tax, and then obviously got forced off himself. The tax here of Deimos just going to be chilling in the green cover. Really, Piano needs the Force Commander to come over and deal with these tax. I think this is very inefficient. I think he should have left this wreck point. This is a misplay for sure by Piano, actually. The Force Commander should have rotated immediately over here as soon as he caught the VP, and the scout that retreated back to the base for Piano should have then gone down and caught the wreck point instead. Then he would have the FC to tie up these tax whilst the APO is off the map, and he would have pushed through here quite easily. Now these scouts aren't going to achieve a whole lot here because the Force Commander is going to get his first taste of action in this game, and he's got a very good bolt pistol, but it appears that he's missing most of his shots right now. Great. Good stuff, Force Commander. And now the Force Commander doesn't want to walk alone into the APO, the tax, and the scouts, which is wise. Probably wants to exploit line of sight somehow. He's just going to kite, apparently. Piano going for some fast ASM. We've got one gen down over here for Deimos. You see the ASM timing here is, yeah, pretty much optimized. I mean, he wouldn't have had 100 wreck at any point in which he had 45 power. Of course, Piano has lost no models yet. It's very easy to identify optimum timings on your gens if it's an SM mirror, because nobody loses models, right? But normally that's the tricky thing. Optimum timings change based on how much wreck you bleed from model losses. Deimos now going for his ASM, so of course they will come out a little later. But he opted for the single generator early, and that means that he can pick up this Sanguine Chainsaw sooner. But now we've got the nice combo there. You see the dual knockback from the shotgun blast, knockback from the ASM jump, and then Piano drops a gen. Probably wants to drop another gen because he's now got ASM plus scouts. For every upgrade you get on your units, you want to drop another gen generally. And the ASM are now out for Deimos, and I think Piano is a little bit wary of this, so he's backing off. Of course, the shotgun scouts coming out here for Deimos replaces, well, not replaces, but drops another gen. Got the two model scouts over there capping. Piano's ASM are going to abandon any hope at taking an army versus army fight right now. Now, of course, versus the ASM, you could start taking garrisons, but that's extremely risky when there's a scout squad here with shotguns. Often you will see that the squad that gets the shotguns is the one that also gets the Sarge, because that's the one you're going to be wanting to use in combat, not capping. So it looked like that was some sort of attempt to do a little nade spike or something, but didn't work out. Maybe the ASM got a special and disrupted it. Both players now maxed out on their gens. Pretty even so far. Good VP lead for Deimos. He's going to continue that, even if the Force Commander catches this point. Deimos is going to secure the Eastern VP. Scouts here to support is going to help a lot, but there's a nice heal from the APO and the Tactical Space Marines. APO ties up one of the scouts, the other scout squad tied up by the ASM. What happened down here? One Tactical Marine model was killed. Nearly got the energy for another jump, but probably just going to stay alongside the Force Commander. The ASM and the APO, they're routing the ranged units of Piano. Beautiful play. It's power of the APO. Ooh, a bit of a greedy jump there. I'm not sure that was really needed. Very telegraphed, wasted his energy. Not really going to achieve too much with that. Really? Trying to decap the point? Piano, what are you doing? Yeah, very questionable. Getting shot by Kraken bolts, Tactical Space Marines. And the beauty of this Sanguine Chainsword, of course, is the fact that it heals on hit. It also, well, in general, it takes him to basically the same damage as the Force Commander, but the fact that the APO then heals on hit means that the Force Commander can't do anything against him in a duel. Gives you more charge range, and I don't know if it gives you more charge speed. No, just the charge distance. From 12 to 23, wow. So you see there how early he procced his melee charge? That's thanks to this war gear. So it gives him a lot of maneuverability, it helps him jump around the enemy ranged units, the scouts, the tanks, etc. No purity rights is a bit unusual. Especially when both players are going for ASM. Anyway, Deimos going to be going tier 2 first. Looks like Piano caught Deimos' scouts there in a nasty grenade. Maybe a grenade shotgun blast combo. Maybe not. Maybe just a... Well, they can't be because they've all got... One of the guys had full energy. I don't know. I guess he just caught him out in the open with a shotgun blast. Honestly, Force Commander so far has achieved absolutely nothing all game. I think part of that is misplay. Not being present for a lot of the army versus army fights, but I don't think it's entirely misplay. I think the APO has a lot more obvious utility in the early game. A lot of hits going here onto this single model. Can they get him before he goes inside the garrison? Oh, he must be so low on HP. But they can't. The attacks are going to get in the garrison, and that is a retreating Force Commander and a soft retreating ASM. Good timing there with the retreat. If that was a second later, those scouts would have been knocked over and it had been dead models. Check out the XP bars. It's great, isn't it? Space Marine mirror, barely any XP to go around. In general, you can see that Piano's done a better job preserving his models, because Deimos' troops have less XP than Piano's, but there's not a significant difference. Well, I mean, it's significant enough for me to comment on it, but it's not impactful yet, you know. It's not like the ASM on one side at level 2 and the ASM on one side of level 1, which would be huge, because then they'd not be able to get specials. Whichever squad's level 1 wouldn't be able to get specials against the other squad at level 2. Anyway, Deimos is tier 2 first. He's going to get his ASM Sarge, and he's got his Razorback coming. Pretty standard shit. Razorback on the way for Piano. No Sarge yet. No War Gears for the Force Commander. Couple of Sarges on the Scouts. Deimos has gone for double shotguns, but not double sergeants. Interesting. So a little bit of variance there. Force Commander in a bad spot now. More damage, you see, because of the ASM Sarge, and in fact now he's picked up the purification rights. Yeah, and that would have been a wipe on the Force Commander if it wasn't for the knockback there of the allied ASM jumping in from Piano. You see this little game of chess? You've got to really preserve your knockback in the mirror, because that is what can secure or save you from getting kills or being killed. And just as the Razorback approaches the gen farm here of Deimos, Piano is going to be able to meet him with his own Razorback. A lot of requisition for the players right now, not so much power. You see there's a lot of upgrades that they want in tier 2. Tactical Space Marines probably want to be picking up plasma guns typically, but in fact I believe we've seen missile launchers coming along at some point there for the Tactical Marines of Deimos. Now, using the missile launcher in relation with a Razorback is obviously going to give you a tremendous advantage in terms of the duels between the two Razorbacks. But a plasma gun would obviously give you a lot of damage against ASM and enemy attacks, so it would help you in the ASM duels. But it's a mirror, guys. Both players are doing the same shit. Both got Devastators en route. Pianos already has his last cannon upgrade. Deimos doesn't yet. Still on a heavy bolter. And you better get used to the sound of chug 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 heavy bolters, because there's going to be a lot of that. Let's see. So one last cannon shot goes in. Unfortunately, no ASM melter bomb nearby. The other interaction to remember here is if you hit them with a melter bomb from the ASM and the last cannon at the same time, you will 100% snare the enemy vehicle. And that can set up some good kills. Nice grenade there from the scouts from Piano. That just took out the Sarge. Oh, yikes. That's unlucky for a Deimos to instantly lose the Sarge like that. Damn. Really unlucky. Razorback could do with turning around and shooting the fucking Apothecary. He's going kind of ham back there with a Sanguine. Razorback could definitely do with not driving forward, but it's not too big of a deal actually, because Piano has his ASM with enough energy for a jump. No melter bombs yet on Piano's ASM actually, now that I'm noticing, and a little bit of a micro error there from Deimos. Slow to retreat his Apothecary is going to lose him on retreat to the focus fire of the Tax and the Razorback. Now, one of the benefits of the Apothecary is that you can use Lariman's Blessing, get back that Apothecary just for red, no requisition cost, but I believe that's 150 red, and that sounds great. Obviously it saves him the 250 requisition he'd have to spend, but if you have 250 red as the Apothecary, you can activate Angels of Death, which gives your entire army, well, only infantry, not vehicles, 50% damage resistance and immunity to knockback for a very long time. I don't know, 15 seconds or something? Basically, easily long enough to win any big engagement. So it's kind of sad to use your red on that Lariman's Blessing and not on Angels of Death, but at the same time, you probably will want to do that to save himself requisition. We'll see. Very questionable engagement there from Deimos with his ASM. Ended up losing a lot of models again. Lost 2 more models. Very, very expensive. You see, you've got this Thunderhammer Force Commander now. He can do chain, AoE, tracking knockback with the specials on that Thunderhammer once he's activated Battlecry. Piano not noticing the grenade coming in there on the Tax. That's going to be pretty painful. Kills the fucking Sergeant straight away. Obviously, these grenades are being aimed at the Sergeants on purpose. And this is, believe it or not, a nasty line of sight blocker. So you can see the last cannon, even though visually it's clearly within range, it can't shoot across. A bit obtuse, but it is what it is. That's Dawn of War 2 maps for you. Let's see if Piano's watching, sees what's going on over here. The simultaneous knockbacks. Nice use of the For the Emperor global here from Piano. Of course, this is a hard mirror. These are both level 1 scouts with the same upgrades. So you drop For the Emperor, your scouts now do 25% more damage. Guess what? You win. So that's nice. Forces the ASM to rotate this side. If the ASM of Deimos are over here, what does that do? It opens up Razorback play on the other side of the map.
The time for battle is now.
But Deimos is Razorback a little bit hesitant here. There is actually nothing stopping it from moving forward and forcing off the Force Commander. And of course, a Razorback is immune to the... That was a bit of a weird smoke. Why did he smoke? Strange. A Razorback is immune, more or less, to the heavy bolt of another Razorback, so... There's actually no reason for Deimos' Razorback to be so defensive right now. It's a bit unusual. Should probably be further forward. But... Piano, you see, knows his limits because he's scouting with infiltrated scouts to get line of sight. But in spite of that, again, he's very defensive with his own Razorback, which is odd. Probably should have had this about here. Now you've got a little bit of mobile AV to consider as well here from the Kraken rounds on the Sternguard potentially, but no missile launcher. Kraken rounds, they're so-so, they're okay, they do a little bit of AV damage over time if you just stand in them, but Why are you standing there? So Apo just charges in there, trying to tie up the las cannon, which he will do. But now the nice thing is that you're getting that chain knockback, you're getting the damage boost procs, and they shall know no fear. The plasma gun goes to town at the stern guard. Plasma gun attacks way better in duels against stern guard. The value of the stern guard is the fact that they have rounds that can kill everything, but plasma gun is dedicated anti-heavy infantry. Plasma attacks are a lot better at killing heavy infantry than stern guard. Anyway, this whole series of engagements seems to be a grand stalling effort for Deimos, because he in fact is just going to go tier 3. And why not? He has the VP lead by a tremendous amount right now, actually. A bit of a bonk there from the Thunderhammer of the Force Commander. Not going to kill any models. Chug, 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 chug on each side. Scouts move through, threaten the shotgun blast, forces Piano's scouts to retreat. And this is all great. He's delaying the VP cap from Piano. I wonder where Piano's resources all went. I mean, yeah, you got the full kit here on the Force Commander. Teleporter pack, that's 40 power. Artificer armor as well, what's that, 25 power? So a fair bit of investment here onto the Force Commander. We'll have to see if it pays off. Right now, I don't really feel like it has, but then again, Deimos' hero, while he was doing a lot of work in tier 1, seems to be falling off quite a bit now in tier 2. Keeps dying, in fact. He's died twice, which is not crazy, but it's quite bad in the Space Marine mirror. You gotta remember, Space Marines are the lowest damage faction in the game, so not only are they the lowest damage faction in the game, they're one of the most tanky. So you should not be losing things in a Space Marine mirror, because there's not a lot of damage going around, and you're both very tanky. They're like two turtles fighting one another, you know? It's not going to be the most satisfying battle of terror for Khorne. Not much blood should be spilled. But yeah, this whole situation has given Deimos a tremendous lead in tech here. You'll notice that he is slowly getting pushed back. He's losing more and more map. He's getting pushed further back horizontally on the map. But now he's going to come back. Razorback's still present in the mid. We've got the Vengeance rounds loaded in here on the stern guard. They're going to poke, poke, poke on the Razorback. Piano needs to make sure he keeps that moving. And that is... Ooh, that was a nice grenade. Wow, took no models off initially, but the ASM were to kill another couple of scouts and then retreat without any model losses themselves. Quite unlucky over here, looking at the HP of these ASM, that no models were lost, but they're just going to swap to Vanguard. Interesting. Why not? You're tier 3 and they're only level 1, so it's not much of a loss. I mean, they're just way better now. The only thing that they miss out on is a lack of a melter bomb, which is a bit of a shame, but I guess Deimos has got grander plans. In terms of combat, they're way better. They're basically flying Khorne Chaos Space Marines. All the models do power melee. More base HP as well. Just a great squad. And once these guys start leveling up, ooh, then they're really spooky. But if you want some damage as Space Marines against heavy infantry, these guys are a great option. So a little bit of disruption here from the scouts on the side. One of the disadvantages of the Thunderhammer is the fact that it doesn't have a sidearm, because of course it's two-handed to wield, which means, you know, you're really not doing anything whilst chasing these scouts around. A little bit of infiltration play here, trying to get the decap, forcing Deimos out of position, countered by the Vanguard jump. But then you of course use your own ASM to jump on the Vanguard. But let's see how the Vanguard fare against the ASM. Holy shit! Look at the Vanguard DPS against the ASM, man. They're level 2 ASM, so they got more HP than the base. But you'll notice even level 2 ASM have less HP than level 1 Vanguard. Vanguard have like 20% more HP than ASM. It's very nice. And the other thing is, you can't lose your Sarge on the Vanguard either, because it's just like an inbuilt model. So yeah, I mean, they're definitely an upgrade in combat. It's just that utility, like I say, that you miss. Quite lucky there with the plasma guns coming out. Oh, that wasn't even the plasma guns. Wow, that was just the Razorback and the Thunderhammer managed to snag a Vanguard model. Kinda lucky. You know, honestly, I feel like I've never seen Piano teleport once yet with his Force Commander, which is a bit odd. Just gonna push through with brute force here. Eventually does have to retreat his force commander, but he gets rid of the main AV, and now we can get on the point, which is quite important for Piano. He's getting quite low on VPs right now. Nearly down to the 100 VP mark, 200 for Deimos. I wonder what Deimos' option is going to be. Ah, I see. He probably wants to get Terminators, but he can't right now because he's nowhere near the red. I assume he keeps using Laramon's Blessing. Had he not needed 2 Laramon Blessings, he would definitely have the red for Terminators, and he could literally get them. Okay, he needs 100 more wreck, but still, that's not too bad. This is the downside, like I say, even if you're not paying the requisition to replace your APO, it is quite expensive, and he's gonna lose him again, just as I'm talking about the disadvantage of losing the APO so many times. Sad. Still reinforcing things. The scout's having to reinforce in the base, and that's draining his eco. Right now he's got a crazy amount of power, just lacking that requisition. Probably, I mean, he must be going for the Land Raider then, because he obviously could have had a Predator tank a long time ago. Predator probably would have been a nice idea here, just to do a nice timing push onto the Razorback. Get rid of it at this point. Ah, that was nice. Piano was well aware of the little flank there by the last cannon Devastator, shuts that down immediately with his force commander. Piano now tier 3 as well, because this has took Deimos so long to get a unit out. Deimos should definitely have gone for a Predator here. Looking at the VPs, 50 VPs left for Piano. Imagine if Deimos had a Predator out ages ago. I mean, the amount of pressure he'd put on, he'd surely have got rid of these VPs. Getting a bit desperate now though, Piano. Making a bit of a micro mishap there. One more shot from the last cannon would kill. I thought these guys were going to grenade. They didn't. Oh, was that an intentional suicide? Oh, it was. Because the Land Raider Redeemer is coming out. That's funny. Lose your Razorback, replace it with a Land Raider Redeemer. Why not? Why not? You don't get to see that too often in a 1v1. Vanguard, of course, lacking the Melter Bomb, means no follow-up after the jump. If that was ASM, we might have seen a Melter Bomb with the Vengeance rounds, and it could have killed the Razorback. Now, Piano is the Force Commander, so Piano has access to Thunderhammer, Storm Shield, Assault Terminators, which is actually kind of scary for a super heavy vehicle like the Land Raider Redeemer. We'll have to see how this plays out. Literally 6 VPs for Piano, so if at any point this becomes a 2-to-1 cap, he's basically lost. Since you need 7 VPs to have the time to decap a point from a 2-to-1. I mean, as it stands right now, his map control's looking pretty decent, but we've just got probing harassment attacks here from Deimos, whilst he waits for his Land Raider Redeemer to come out. Is this the Assault Terminators? Or normal Terminators? Assault Terminators coming out for Piano. Piano knows there's something coming, surely, from Deimos. I mean, he's upgrading Lightning Claws now, so I guess he doesn't. He's seen that there were Vanguards ages ago. I mean, I'd go for the Lightning Claws after you see the fucking range Terminators called in, but I wouldn't do it beforehand. You don't need them. I mean, I guess it's nice to brawl better with the Vanguard, but come on, Thunderhammer, Storm Shields are probably sufficient. And the problem is right now, that's kind of snaring its own fucking Land Raider there. The problem is that these Terminators can't really do anything to the Land Raider Redeemer because they're power melee, not heavy melee. So how can Piano possibly win this? Because he can't get rid of this Land Raider Redeemer. Like, can you take the mid with the Razorback here? Maybe Piano can take the mid actually. He just has to sneak some scouts in to take that west side. I mean, Apothecary is brawling right now. The Sergard got unleashed under fear? No, evidently not. That's going to be Deimos right from the mid. How they can get on that VP. What's the Land Raider doing? Oh, the whole time it's trying to deal with these Terminators. Now, whilst the Terminators can't really hurt the Land Raider, the Land Raider can't really hurt the Terminators either, with the exception of the multi-melter on the Land Raider Redeemer, but that's shorter range, that's not firing right now. There it goes. There it is right there. So that's the main component of damage, and there you go, it just killed a Terminator. Well, it softened him up enough. You see, obviously, with the Flamers, they melt the less durable infantry. What just died there? That was the Vanguard. Why was the Vanguard that deep? Strange. So, potential Melter Bomb. Oh, are we going to get an Orbital Bombardment too? No? Huh, that could have been a Melter Bomb. With the last cannon shooting, that would have 100% snared, and then you could Orbital Bombardment and blow up the Land Raider Redeemer instantly. Piano... I might not be focusing on the VPs though. Like I said, he needs to not let the VPs go against him for even a second or he loses. In fact, the Orbital Bombardment right now is coming down from Deimos instead. What is going on over here? We got a single Terminator model chilling on the point. And the Orbital Bombardment there is going to wipe all kinds of things. What's this? We've got Deimos decapping the point in the mid. Oh, the VPs are going down. But he's capping this, though. Not quick enough. This is the problem. He must have started this cap just as the VPs went against him. It was... Yeah, Piano was decapping that. The Airpo caught that in the mid. Oh, wow. Sadness. Well, that was the Space Marine mirror, boys. That was kind of brutal. Jeez. Wow. Crazy game. Damn. Lots going on in the end there. Fighting on all parts of the map. Awesome. Nice to see it. Hope you did enjoy that one, folks. If you want more replays like this, high-level shit, check out my Patreon. There's plenty on there. Over 30 casts of a high-level nature. Help support your local Dawn of War 2 channel. Thanks, guys. I am gonna be signing out.